Okay, so I'm gonna get you T.
No, answer.
But I wanted to point out. No,
Answer.
I wanted to point out, hey,
Answer.
I want to point out that two of the 3 units are the ones that you can't recruit.
You can what?
In the actual 3 houses game, there are besides the leaders, there are 3 other students, 1 in each house, that you can't recruit. Right?
Oh, but Dudu's not here.
Yeah, why is he not here? But
Dudu's not here. What? You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It should be Dudu instead of Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Petra. Petra's a fan favorite, I think.
I like Petra.
You can't. You also can't recruit Hubert. But wait, you can't recruit Hilda?
Nope.
Oh my
I've
god.
been trying this whole time.
I'm so glad. I don't like her.
Alright, I'm gonna give you T now, and I'm gonna go bye-bye.
Alright.
Alright, have fun, you 3.
So, wait a second. T, have you even played 3 houses?
I actually have my Seasons of Warfare edition, and because I'm actually playing another game right now, I haven't really touched 3 houses just yet.
Okay. Okay. That makes a bit more sense to me. And gamers?
I'm in the middle of the time skip.
Okay. Alright, so at least we have, you know, some kind of low familiarity. Well, the first character is Hilda, and... Wait, which houses are you? Oh, wait, which houses are you, gamers?
I'm the Black Eagles.
Oh, crap. So neither of us know Hilda. Chat. What's Hilda's stat spread like?
To be honest, she's just kind of a twin-tailed brat, so it didn't really interest me.
Yep, that's basically me too. I mean, I thought she was really pretty, but I couldn't get interested in her at all. As soon as she opened her mouth, I knew I didn't want her anymore. Huge defense stat. She's axe and heavy armor, really. Wait, then this makes no sense, cause this is. What's Hilda's specialty, guys? She's really fighter. Okay, she's great. Great axe unit. All right, but
so basically the warrior timeline. No, not during. Just the warrior stat tree.
She's really tanky. Okay, then what is it? All right, so you guys are telling me she's supposed to be armor, which doesn't make a lot of sense because this setup, all right, with Freykugel. I'm not even trying it again. It's speed plus 3.
Freykugel.
Sure, it's speed plus 3. It's supporting in terms of. I mean, her axe is one of the most interesting thing in the game because it's a double. Well, it's not double. It's the same thing twice. But as long as you're with allies that have more defense than her, she gets extra stats. She also buffs them up. It's actually kind of crazy how that works. Thanks, Zuryu. Thanks for sub. But it's so different from her current archetype, and I can't even imagine it. If I was a student in Greg Mock, I would not want to be near Hilda. Alright, but if you can stand her, she will provide you attack speed plus 4, assuming you have more defense than her. Additionally, if she is alone or she's with allies with more defense than her, she'll get attack speed plus 6. So it's actually a pretty good axe because 16 might, speed plus 3 at base. It is attack speed plus 4 to basically any allies so long as they have more defense than her. So you're going to have to hope her defense is low. And she's one of the heroes that if you merge, it kind of makes it awkward. Because if you have plus defense and you merge her up, or her defense is just really high base, it's going to get really awkward using her. But outside of that, as long as you have if you have more defense than her and you have a team set up with her in mind, you can get some really interesting utilizations out of her, or usages out of her. But that's about it.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully her defense stat isn't going to be that high, but I do think having a def opening on her is going to at least help her allies be able to try and push a little bit higher than her, so that way she can at least be a supporting role at that point.
Yeah, the defense opening is actually a really good skill to have on her, but it's still kind of awkward. And it's, again, if you guys are telling me in the game she's supposed to have pretty high defense, it just doesn't make sense. Because if she actually has pretty high defense, say she has mid-30s in defense, good luck using a range hero with her, right? If you have a range hero in your setup, she's not going to benefit or be benefited from them.
Yeah, I mean, with her setup, I'd have to say that it definitely looks like she's a heck of a lot better running around on her own and swapping out her C skill.
Volt 1, are you kidding me? That guy had like a bonus for like 6 hours in a row, guys. It was stupid. Well, I'm salty about that. We just burned flags for no reason then.
Same.
Alright, Ursula Wolf finale for Voting Gauntlet. Hopefully Ursula wins, but I'll join Team Volt. Why not? It doesn't matter. I don't have either hero. Alright, but...
Yeah, it looks like according to chat, Ursula did win.
Well, yeah. But to finish it off, if she has moderate defense, you can't really run range heroes with her. Because range heroes almost all have crummy defense. I mean, there are exceptions like Boya, of course, Henry, of course, but those aren't exactly pristine heroes. But yeah, with everything in mind, this is kind of awkward if she does have high defense. If she has low defense, it's still awkward because null follow-up doesn't get utilized very well, right? Because if you have low defense and with, you know, 43 HP, you take a hit, but you can't take another hit. In other words, you fight one hero with like what? QR with Vengeful Fighter. You hit them one time, you get hit one time, and then you kill them. But the next battle, you really can't afford to take a hit. So that's weird. And if you replace it with Desperation, then you just have a very quick axe hero with a lot of speed and with a lot of attack, which therefore isn't even like that important. Unless you build a team around her, which she can fully utilize her axe buffing skills, then that's something. But it's just very awkward in my mind. Like I believe she'll be a pretty good hero, but she's nothing important, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see her as somebody that's going to be a lot better on her own rather than trying to support the team because her stats may be really awkward. And we're not going to know that until tomorrow, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a little hard to try and actually utilize her as a support unit. Rather, she'd be a lot better off just being the one that tries to bash faces in.
We do have a hint that her defense is going to be awkwardly, isn't going to be great because she has... A blue Lance Cav is doing 15 damage on her. So...
Yeah, then her defense probably isn't going to be that great. It's probably going to be like mid to upper 20s, maybe low 30s at the highest then.
Yeah. Alright, anyways, that's awkward. But sadly enough, she might be the second best hero in this banner. Which... makes this banner very hard to suggest, especially with the banners we have right now. It's just much better usages of your orbs right now, guys. But going on, we come to something really interesting. I think Hubert's more interesting for the fact of what he's bringing to the game more than himself. Because I think Hubert, in the game, Hubert has very abysmal speed. Very high attack, very high res is what he should translate to into heroes. Problem with that is we already have a lot of high attack, low speed, high res heroes. For red mages especially, that's Winter Tharja. That is... Who else? There's a bunch of heroes, but they're not coming. Arvis? No, Arvis isn't slow.
Actually, I have an Arvis build. Let me check.
No, I know Arvis isn't slow. Who else is it? Leon is mediocre in terms of speed, but his res isn't that high. Oh, Soniki, Lilna. Those are your.
What about?
Those are your
Julius
characters.
Slow? I can't tell if Julius is slow. I've never built him.
Okay, well thanks for guessing.
Well, shit, I'm trying to help.
Julius is mid-20s in speed, but he's.
Okay.
I don't know. You can just look it up and then say your piece. It's not that hard. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that archetype we already have a few characters of, right? Especially because Lona's free to play and she's really easy to build. So he has really difficult competition if that's the kind of role he wants to fulfill. So The better thing about him is the new skills he brings to the game, which is Roar Fox and Infantry Hexblade 3. Roar Fox is not a unique weapon, it is inheritable. And it reminds me a lot of Delthea's Death. But Delthea's Death gives res plus 3, and it buffs her stats by 4 instead of debuffing theirs by 4. I mean, it's a combat buff. But if you raise your stat by 4 versus your opponent dropping them by 4, it's virtually the same thing. There's minute differences, of course, but it's virtually the same thing. And additionally, Delthea hurts herself by taking 4 damage chip every time she attacks. But still, even then, in a way, you can look at it as a 16 might weapon, guys. Because if you drop their res by 4, that's essentially 16 might. If you drop their attack by 4, it kind of gives you your defense, it increases your defense slightly. If you drop their speed by 4, it helps you double a bit easier too. So this is a really interesting tome. It's a pretty good tome. Because essentially, you get extra attack, extra defense, and the chance of better chance of doubling or preventing them from doubling. So Roar Fox is really good. But that's about the only thing I could see him for, is just foding off Roar Fox and foddering off Infantry Hexblade. Roar Fox with the roar in front of it also indicates that it'll come to other heroes, other color types, I mean. So right now it is the red mage variant, but in the future you'll have the green mage being Gron and Blair or Blar being for blue heroes, but that's in the future. Only when you initiate though, yes, only when you initiate, keep that in mind. It's not at all times, it's only when you initiate. So you could hit, for example, you could hit an enemy hero that has enough speed to double you, but by, say they have like, I don't know, they have 40 and you have 35, so they should normally double you, but if you attack into them, now it's a 1-to-1 exchange, because you drop their speed by 4, so it'd just be 36. That's just an example, but that says a lot about how useful that tome could be. So it's a great tome for heroes that don't have their specialty tomes, but chat, off the top of your minds, which red mages would use this? I can't think of any. Say, for example, I was using Aversa. Well, I would just use Aversa's Knight. Say, for example, I was using Lilna. Well, I just use Lilna's personal tome. Say, for example, I'm using Sonic. I would use Sonic's personal tome.
I mean, you could try and put it on a hero like Henry or something like that, so that way you could go ahead and make sure that he was nice and bulky.
But Henry's a defensive hero. This only works when you're attacking. T?
Yeah, in that case, I really don't know who you'd even put it on, because at that point, like you said, I mean, most of the other mages have better tomes at their disposal already.
Canis? No, same problem, guys. Canis is moderate speed, low attack. He wouldn't really want to attack anything.
Yeah, true. He'd just want to sit there and just take hits rather than deal them out.
Again, guys, keep in mind they have to. You're naming a lot of offensive heroes that I mean defensive heroes which wouldn't want to attack, which is the problem. Rai, isn't Rai's new tome not garbage? Leon has really low speed, so he wouldn't want to attack. Soniki, no, Soniki would want to keep her tome. Soniki's Cymbalin, attack plus 3 to allies within 2 spaces during combat. Additionally, if unit is within 2 spaces of a flying ally, grants attacks res plus 5 during combat, which is what you want to keep because her attack and res is pretty high up. So no, it wouldn't be Soniki. Titania. Well, that's a tough sell too, because Loyal Wreath is very similar in a way. If unit is adjacent to an ally, grants attack, speed, defense, res plus 3 during combat. In this case, in that case, it can be used both offensively and defensively, whereas Hubert would have to be used offensively.
So
I mean, with Titania, though, I would much rather run her with a Blade Tome, because, I mean, with Horse Emblem, you can easily get those buffs on her.
Okay, but even then, I couldn't imagine it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Someone in chat mentioned that you could probably run this on Mage Erica. This tome...
Mage Erica?
I don't know. It could be possible, but Glepnir is, you know, pretty good by itself as well.
Yeah, and again, that's one that I would definitely point to the Blade Tome and say that's probably going to be far better than this would ever be.
The problem
That
with
is
the Glepnir advice is it's res plus 3 and attack speed plus 3 during combat if your opponent's HP is 100%, which isn't bad at all because that's essentially 17 might. I mean, it's attack speed and res, so your only advantage here would be a defense extra addition on her, which doesn't really make sense. So, because she has naturally 2 more might on her tome than Roarfox, yeah, I can't imagine. I can't suggest it. It wouldn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense long term.
you wouldn't want to put it on Morgan because Morgan's pretty fast. Oh,
Wait,
never mind.
what?
I'm stupid as fuck. Never mind.
And plus, Morgan's PRF is way better than that.
That's true. That's too.
All right.
I don't know where I got the fast bit from. I'm just high as a kite right now.
All right. Well, you guys know what we're talking about. The saddest part is Hubert is not a fast hero in 3 houses, so chances are it wouldn't work out anyways because he wouldn't make good utilization of the tome. If he was moderate speed, I think it would be okay. All right, but the rest of his kit, Growing Thunder is whatever. Growing Thunder's on several heroes. It doesn't really make a difference. It's kind of weird he has it. Chill Res is a pretty good B skill for debuffing especially, but it's whatever as well. I mean, you can get that off free-to-play heroes at this point, right? I'm gonna double check. Pretty sure. Is it Leg Yarn? Or no, Labor
Yeah,
King?
it's a New Year leg yarn.
New Year Leg Yarn. Yeah, so that doesn't have a lot of value. So it comes down to Infantry Hexblade 3, which, if you guys didn't know, the closest thing in the game right now to Infantry Hexblade 3 would just be Sorcery Blade from Yogurt. But Sorcery Blade is an A skill, this is a C skill, and Sorcery Blade needs you to be next to a mage hero to trigger it, whereas Infantry Hexblade just needs you to be next to if adjacent infantry allies, just next to an infantry ally.
Yeah, and the C slot is something that you're more likely to be able to give up for something anyway, because that A slot is critical more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this is way better Sorcery Blade in every single form of it. It's literally better.
Yep, exactly, because you get attack speed plus 2, whereas Sorcery Blade doesn't give you any such skill. It frees up your A skill, and your C skill is a lot more flexible. Additionally, you don't have to be next to a mage ally. You just have to be next to an infantry ally. And the final thing is with the same skills. So yeah, that just works out better 100%. So Hubert, chances are, will not be a great hero. Chances are he's great fodder for Infantry Hexblade and Roarfox. And before someone looks at Infantry Hexblade the wrong way, targeting lower defense or res is super important in this game, because very few heroes have balanced defense or res. Most heroes have significantly higher defense or significantly higher res by over 10 or so. So this could allow your hero to do 10 extra damage per hit, which is huge. So, well, it'll be even more because attack speed plus 2 is just a little bit more to push it over the board. But yeah, all in all, we'll have to look at his stats first, but I seriously doubt he'll be fast. I'm seeing high attack, high res, in which case he doesn't really use Roarfox well.
But Nim's Sorcery Blade is for the user, Hexblade is not.
Yep, that's the only difference. Just so you know, you still need somebody next to you. And Sorcery Blade only works with magical heroes. So you still have to set it up the same way, as in you need one ally next to you, and that ally has to be a magical hero. So the same idea, you still have to have 2 heroes together, and because of that, it's just 100% better. And again, you rather free up your A slot and have your C slot be taken up than the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that it's a support skill rather than something for the unit itself, I mean, it's almost negligible at that point, because in reality, you're still going to be able to help out one of your own units, and something like that over an arena, I mean, that's pretty critical more often than not, especially in higher tiers.
They really should fix Sorcery Blade by changing it so that it doesn't need you to be next to anything at all. Then it makes Then it gives it an actual usage. As is, Sorcery Blade is dead thanks to that skill.
Yeah, definitely.
Mercedes. I'm actually immensely disappointed by this. If any of you guys actually like Mercedes, I think you would be disappointed too. Just what is the point of this?
Other than providing another AR skill that almost nobody cares about, really nothing is that spectacular about her.
That's what pisses me off about this, because it feels like you took a character that people generally like and you just made her fodder. And that's all you did. You didn't treat her correctly, and she's not gonna demote, most likely, because she has an ARD skill, which AR skills do not demote, guys. Not yet anyways. But the rest of her kit just doesn't, like, it's just meh. It doesn't, I just can't see the point of this at all. It's just, she's just another healer at this point. And there's, in a game filled with healers that have virtually no roles, there's a reason why everyone goes for, like, Loki, Veronica, and coming soon, everyone's gonna, most people are, I suspect, well, maybe not because it's Camilla. People don't like Camilla for various reasons, but Camilla's gonna be very valuable, and she has a better gravity. So, I don't know who this is for. Just, like, complete fans, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that this screams at me is this is going to be the pity breaker that everybody's going to just rage quit over.
No, you're not gonna go for colorless. There's no reason to go for it.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes you accidentally select the wrong one, or you do what my wife did, and I had one orb left on a circle one time, and it was a colorless one on the April Legendary, the one where Leanne was part of it.
Uh-huh.
And guess who was in that colorless orb, and guess who broke a 12% pity rate?
I don't know.
Leanne.
Okay.
I was about ready to just throw my freaking iPad across my living room. I was so mad. I was like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this to me?
Okay, well, for the people saying somebody might plus 10 her, they could, but that would be a lot of orbs and on a very not good hero. She won't demote, so Brady would be your best demoted hero because Brady's a 4-star now, guys. So Brady would be your best choice if you want to make a plus 10 hero. And if you weren't going to make Brady, then in terms of free-to-play heroes, then you have a bunch of other choices. What I'm just trying to say is ARD speed res 3, if you don't use her, if you don't have any if you don't run the skill in ether raids, or don't use these characters in ether raids, it has no value. It doesn't do anything then. Odd res wave 3 is on Aversa, Miracle's on a bunch of characters, Martyr's on a bunch of characters, Gravity's on a bunch of characters, like Lissa, like Elise, like, it's just crud. It's just crap. It's just, yeah, we'll move on. Just use Loki, right. So I feel like they didn't do her justice. That's why I'm kind of irked about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not that impressed by her at all.
All right, Petra. For those who don't know, for Petra's case, in the game, she seems like she'd be a great Myrmidon. She seems to like be a great Pegasus Knight, and she seems like she would be a great assassin. So to see her kind of like meld all that together is great, because I don't think you can have can you have flying assassins in 3 houses? I guess I'm not far enough to know that yet, or is that even a good idea?
No, I don't think you can.
All right, but they kind of melded all those ideas together in a way, because she's using a sword here, and later on you'll see she's still using a sword, kind of, and she's a flyer. So this is probably the most worthwhile to talk about character in this entire banner. This is a very well built hero. We'll need her to see her stats first to see if she's actually as good as we've been thinking she could be, but in terms of her skills, she's amazing. Hunting Blade is what makes her so special. If you guys didn't know, she was a hunter well, in her kingdom she was a hunter, and I guess she still hunts as a student. I'm not completely sure about that actually, but she's a hunter, so hunting blade makes a lot of sense. This is an incredibly good weapon. It is special cooldown trigger count -1, which already makes barb streak and whatever. It's extra might because it's a unique weapon. It is also effective against beast foes, which is kind of rare in this game. Only a handful of heroes in this game have it. Predominantly the picnic heroes. I believe there's one more, but they're all personal weapons, so anti-beasts still haven't come that far in the game. So having another character go that way is great. So if it hadn't just stopped there, 14 might, special cooldown trigger -1, effect against beast foes, of course dagger 7 as well. It would already been a great dagger, but the next effect is just insane. At start combat, if units attack, speed, defense, res is less than the ally within 2 spaces, grants +5 to units corresponding stat during combat. From what I understand, as long as you have a character with a greater stat than her, and I believe you can have multiple characters like that, she would just get +5 stats. So if you had a hero with more attack than her within 2 spaces, she gets an additional 5 attack. If that hero has more speed, defense, or res as well, she gets +5 on those stats as well. So in other words, it's a combat buff and it's +5. It could be +5 to everything. That's crazy because that can add 20 stats, and adding another 5 speed could get her a double. Adding another 5 attack, if she doubles, is 5 times 2. Like, you don't need a lot of help to figure out why that's so good. So Hunting Blade is just incredible. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, I definitely agree 100%. Hunting Blade is a whole new level of just amazingness because of the reason you just described. I mean, literally that, along with her A slot as well, because attack speed form 3 is essentially like, I guess the best way to describe it is it's what they should have done with owl tomes to begin with.
Wait,
because it's literally just everything within 2 spaces will actually add on to that. So
they couldn't.
If you have those 3 units within 2 spaces of her, that's +7 to her attack and speed, on top of the 5 that she could potentially get off a Hunting Blade. So she could get a +12 to her attack and speed, and then she can get +5 to the other stats, assuming you keep her base kit. So it's definitely a ridiculous combination there.
Yeah, but okay, it couldn't do that with Altones though, because Altones came out in like the first year of the game. You couldn't have like, it would just clearly be the best tome, period.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely wishful thinking on that part, but I mean, like I said, that would be ridiculous if they could just go back and redo it like that. But that A slot, I mean, it's definitely a really solid addition to the game. And I think it's basically better bond skills as well, because as long as you have that adjacency or within 2 spaces, then you're going to be adding up and you could potentially actually outperform a bond skill.
Yeah. Okay, for me, I'm going to break it down so I think everyone's on the same track. X equals 2 times number of allies in 2 spaces. So if that's 0, it's 2 times 0. Additionally, +1. So it's 2 times allies, then +1 on top of that. That becomes your X. And then attack speed plus X. So your attack and speed will therefore add X. So what this means is if you have no allies, X equals 1. So your attack speed is +1. So at all times, you have attack speed 1. If you have 1 ally, it's 2 times number of allies. So it's 2 times 1 plus 1. So it becomes 3. So if you have 1 ally within 2 spaces, it's attack speed plus 3. And it works from that. So if you have 3 allies, it becomes 7. So attack speed plus 7. It took a bit to figure it out because the way they put it together is kind of awkward, but that's how it works for attack speed form. So the skill will give 1, 3, 5, or 7 attack or speed. Yep, thanks Oblivion. And that's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, they could have worded that just a little bit better so that way they didn't confuse the living hell out of people.
Yeah. But in utilization, this is why I think Petra is the best hero from this banner. Attack speed form works with Hunting Blade. Aerobatics and ground orders help set up Hunting Blade. So this is why she's the best character in the banner. So Aerobatics lets you move, teleport her next to an infantry, armored, or cav ally within 2 spaces. Ground order allows allies to teleport to infantry, armored, or cav foes. It allows infantry, armored, and cav foes to teleport to any ally within 2 spaces. So you can use this to move her quickly across the battlefield, and you can use ground orders to move your allies quickly across the battlefield, in which case will allow you to use attack speed form and hunting blade very well. So that combination is sweet. Only problem is if her defense or res isn't high enough, she might switch off aerobatics for desperation. Because I've tried using aerobatics with Flying Nino, and her low defense and her low res makes it very difficult to use her past one battle. Because afterwards, she can't get the kill in one shot, so she needs a second shot. So I've been moving towards switching to desperation, even though I've been trying to use aerobatics. Yes, most likely she's a glass cannon, guys. But if she has, say, 35 res or 35 defense or something like that, oh, she won't have 35 defense, but say she has like 35 res, and then she teleports next to an ally and she can get like 5 extra res, in which case she might not need desperation because she doesn't take enough damage where it's problematic. Fair one drag down up air up smash. I mean, Joker's stupid, Lobster, so I hope he gets nerfed soon, or nerfed harder. I don't know. I didn't look at the last patch notes. Anyways, that's Petra. So what do you guys have to add?
I don't think Gamers has anything to add. So I mean, the only thing that I'll throw out there is with aerobatics. I mean, normally the best users of that are typically ones that are good support units, or they're good for taking hits. Because I mean, like with my Cordelia in Arena, she uses it extremely well because she's more of a utility type unit. And Petra does not come off as the type of unit that would be utility based. I mean, if anything, she'd probably be better off trying to use something like guidance. So that way she can try and get units close to her rather than worrying about trying to get everybody with ground orders.
Guidance makes more sense on her because they can move next to her, then she can just dance to them. So it's for troop movement.
So yeah, I mean the aerobatics guidance combo would definitely be nice on her.
I'm not I'm pretty sure you guys might want to do ground orders with aerobatic seal and just desperation on her. Because that way you get to keep desperation, and if she's a glass cannon, she can keep attacking, and then you can still move really well. Because we have an aerobatic seal, but not a desperation seal.
The day we get a desperation seal is the day that the world is gonna go dark.
I mean, I think it'll happen eventually. I mean, there's been a couple broken, well, not completely broken seals, but there's been a couple of seals we had doubts on in APM seals. Not to mention, like, renewal becoming a seal is already significant because that allows a lot of characters to realize their potentials. But that wasn't like a crazy seal. There's been really good seals though.
Yeah, it's also good for memes too, because I actually have a hero now that I run renewal 1, 2, and 3 basically because of that.
Boy, sounds like fun.
Although I'd have to say the best part of this entire trailer was Petra's special quote.
Oh, what was
it?
again?
You just can't even feel better about yourself when you're looking at somebody yelling, "You will be slapped down." It's like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think she was based on like Starfire, as well. A lot of people are saying, in terms of like how she can't speak that well. Yeah, the humor.
Yeah, I can see that.
Demeanor.
Yeah.
Seeing that every time is just gonna bring a smile to my face.
Alright, it doesn't say how long this banner is, but chances are it's not that long. Because, to be honest, the first 3 Heroes banner was like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's usually about 2 weeks or so.
But yeah, I really can't suggest pulling on this unless you need Petra. Or Hilda for some reason. But the heroes here just don't make too much sense, but especially with the banners upcoming and the banners out right now, just can't suggest this, so yep.
Yeah, I definitely second that as well. With CYL right around the corner, I mean, there's no point in pulling on this unless you really like some of these characters.
Yeah.
All right, and that's your 3 houses banner, guys.